to the UK and still haven't figured out what it is like here, or you plan to move to the UK someday and wondering what it is like living in the UK. I've been in the UK for 3 years now. I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I have learned living in the UK so far. So please stick with me to the end of this video because it's really going to be informative. You're definitely going to take something home. My name is Tochi. You guys are welcome to my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, like it if you get value from it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, because I share content on how you can move to the UK, life in the UK and all the good stuff. So please consider sticking around with me. And to all my returning subscribers, my amazing ones, you guys are welcome back. Back to the video on things I've learned so far living in the UK. Number one, you have to be ready to source information yourself and read through the fine print. If you're lazy to read or you don't like reading, you might struggle living in the UK. So for you to be successful, for you to actually live well in the UK, you have to learn to read, to do your research and ask questions. There are informations out there, there are so many opportunities out there, but the thing for you to be able to get hold of them, you have to learn to do your research, process and digest things, and even do things yourself. Okay, this one is one that is very interesting, you know, having to do things yourself, having to even buy fuel for your car yourself. Guys, this is not something that we are used to. You know, where we're coming from, if you go to buy fuel in a petrol station, there are so many people there to attend to you. All you have to do is just pay, right? But here you basically have to do things by yourself. You park your car, you have to go and figure out how to pay for parking by yourself, you know, things like that, right? Letters are sent to your house to tell you what to do. You know, like some things are not just expressly stated. You have to learn to read signs, you have to learn to read symbols, you have to learn to find your way around with Google Map. Like Google Map should literally be your friend. It's not like where you're walking on the road and you're not asking somebody, oh, where is this? Well, that thing is very rare here. People do it, you can do it, you know, sometimes if you're really lost, but most of the time people use Google Maps, right? You must learn to really do your research and get the information available to you. The truth is there are so many opportunities, so many things out there for you, but you might not know them and you might not get them if you don't ask the right questions. Before I continue, guys, this video is brought to you in partnership with Marshmallow Car Insurance. If you're new to the UK, trust me, Marshmallow makes car insurance one less thing to worry about. You know, people who move to the UK used to pay up to 45% more on car insurance because most insurers only care about the driving experience you gain here while you're already in the UK. But with Marshmallow, all your driving experience gathered from outside the UK is put into consideration to give you a fairer price, right? So whether you have been driving in Nigeria or in India, Ghana, Kenya, wherever, all the experience you have so far is put into consideration while you're in the UK and trying to get an insurance for your car. They give you the same experience-based discounts as everyone else driving in the UK, so you don't have to worry so much about being priced as a new driver. Marshmallow counts all your years of driving in the UK and abroad. They give you extra discounts for the years you drove without making a claim. Plus, they cover any license for up to 12 months, no matter where it's from. So save up to 45% as a UK newcomer with Marshmallow Car Insurance. So with Marshmallow, you can get help when you need it the most, whether it's an emergency or not. There's a live chat support open daily, and there's a 247 phone line for new claims and accident support. So guys, save your money with Marshmallow Car Insurance and say goodbye to being priced like a new driver. You can spread the cost with smaller monthly payments and choose your own payment date. It is that flexible. Guess what, guys? If you visit their website and buy with my discount code TOCHI40, you will get £40 off Marshmallow. This is great, right? Yes, I really recommend Marshmallow Car Insurance. I'll leave all the links you need in the description box. So guys, back to the video on things I've learned so far living in the UK. Number 2, credit card is really important. It teaches you financial responsibility. So in a credit economy like this, it's not really about if you can afford to pay for something upfront. It's about if you can afford to pay for it over time, right? So there are lots of credit facilities available for you. You can easily get anything you want. And if you're not responsible enough, you will discover that you will end up being in so much debt. So with credit card, you have to be really financially responsible not to be in debt. The truth is that here you can basically afford to buy anything so long as you have a job. So you can basically walk into a car shop and buy any car of your choice and just pay a small amount for it and then spread the payment and just pay over time, right? Like, it's very, very easy to be in debt here. Very, very easy, because you can basically buy anything you want. You can buy any home appliance of your choice. You can buy any furniture of your choice. You can even buy a car of your choice and spread the payments. So the implication of all this is that by the end of the month, by the time you see all your direct debits and money leaving your accounts, you just put your hand on your head and say, what is this? So you have to be financially responsible to actually shy away from that by buying only the things that you need, only necessary things. In fact, you see some companies, some brands really begging you to buy some of their things or take off some of their products and pay over time. Okay, they'll give you that option, right? But yeah, you have to always use your head. So that is another thing that I have learned so far. Number 3, it gets really busy living in the UK. You know, everybody's just trying to survive. There are so many bills to pay. You know, there are so many responsibilities. You know, everyone is just working, doing some business, just trying to survive. So it could get really busy, you know, with children involved, everything. Life can be busy. So it's very easy to lose yourself in all of this. It's also very easy to lose your relationship. Yeah, if you want your relationship to work living in the UK, you have to be very intentional about it. For some couples who do alternate shifts because of childcare, that is, this one is working, one is at home with the children, when the other one is working, the other one is at home with the children. You know, you're literally going out when your spouse is coming in, something like that. For some others, because of all the bills you have to pay, you see them picking extra shifts and working overtime. You know, you rarely have time for your partner. But if you're not careful, you might lose your marriage. That is why living here, you have to be very intentional about making your marriage work. You have to be very intentional about making time for your children, for your family. Is very, very important, right? Because guys, trust me, it can get really, really busy. Number 4, loneliness is very, very common. Like, it's so easy to get into depression because sometimes you're just on your own, all by yourself, doing everything by yourself. You don't really have who to talk to, because when you're free, your other friend is working, the friend that you have managed to make is working, and when your friend is free, you are working. You know, like, you're really going to be familiar with loneliness, because sometimes when you're off work, you just want to rest, just want to stay in your house and rest from all the shifts you've been doing, from all the work that you've been doing. So sometimes you're just on your own, and then when you're free, when you want to hang out, your other friends are working, you know, something like that. So it gets really crazy. And then during winter, it gets really dark early. From 4 p.m. it's already dark. So there are people who don't like night movement, and by 4 p.m. it's already dark. So you see such people in their homes, inside their house with their blankets, especially if you're single. But if you're married and you have children, it's easier because you have a partner, you have children to talk to, and it's so easy to get depressed. That is why you have to be very intentional about your mental health, about what you do, about making friends, because it can be very hard making friends as an adult. Really, I've come to understand that you have to try to socialize as much as possible. It's very, very important. You know, you are in a new country all by yourself most of the time. You know, you have to try to get to know people, you try to interact with people. That really helps. Number 5, I've also come to understand that people take responsibilities for things that affect the masses, for things that affect everyone. That is why the society is really working, right? And of course, for society to work, people have to take responsibility. So that is something I've observed here. People take responsibilities a lot. You just see somebody walking on the street and there is a bin in front of his house, you know, blocking other people. He will just clear it just so that others can pass freely. You know, like, they're really considerate people. You see somebody walking a dog, he has a paper or a nylon in his hand just so that when the dog poops, he can pack it up, you know, things like that. They don't leave it and go. They have to clean it up, and that is really impressive. People just do the right things. I've observed that people try to do the right things here, and that has also helped me as well, because I also try to be the best version of myself. Whether I'm inside or I'm outside, I'm even at work, I always try to do the right thing, because everybody just does the right thing, right? People just expect that you do the right thing, and with what I've observed, people do that a lot in public, in the bus stations, in the train stations, in schools, everywhere. Generally, people just try to do the right things. The next thing I've learned here is that having kids seems very easy, but is really expensive. Like, low-key, people tell you, oh, you are abroad, system is working, you know. Yeah, that's true, but then it is very, very expensive having kids abroad. For the UK, basically, education is free, right? From primary to secondary school is actually free, but the other things that come with it, okay? For the children to get the basic things of life, if you want them to get skills, those things are not cheap. If you want your kids to learn swimming, dancing, gymnastics, karate, whatever, football, you see all those things, basketball, all those skills you want your children to learn, they are very, very expensive. For some companies, it's a direct debit. Once you register, they'll be taking the thing from your account every month. Whether you attend or not, they don't care. For some, they charge you per section, so if you don't attend, you don't have to pay. But for the most part, it's a direct debit. So if they tell you that it's £100 a month, it's £100 a month. Whether you attend or not, they don't care, except you cancel. Talking about children as well, with children, it's very, very important to have a car. This is another thing that I have learned living in the UK, right? There are buses, there are taxis, yes, there are all those things, but if you have kids, it gets complicated. And if you don't have a car, sometimes going out will not be funny. Going even for school runs might not be funny, okay? And this is not just for me, it's also for people around me, because people always say, see, if you have children, in fact, if you start having children, just buy a car. So once you get pregnant, just start saving your money to buy a car. Remember also that childcare is not cheap here as well. So everything children in the UK is very, very expensive. Also, so far living in the UK, I've learned to do a lot of things I ordinarily didn't imagine that I could do. You know, living all by yourself with children, you have to make instant decisions, you have to do a lot of things at the same time. Like, the superwoman in me has come out, right? And I'm really grateful for the experience, really, because there are some things that I really didn't even imagine that I could do that I now do, okay? And also, you have to constantly just keep thinking of how to improve yourself, what to do, you know, to make more money with the rising bills, right? You have to keep thinking, oh, what can I do? How can I help? How can I improve? How can I make more money? You know, you have to just think outside the box. And business is one thing that I didn't know I could do, right? I've always been a career person. I've always been somebody that, oh, I will grade my career, I will start my job, grade my career, you know, that work woman, career lady. But living in the UK has actually brought out the business side of me, which I didn't know I had, right? So yeah, these are some of the things that I have learned living in the UK. And lastly, that somebody is very nice and friendly to you doesn't mean that you're friends. Whether it's at work or in the train station or in the bus station or anywhere, especially for the breeds, they're just very open people that like to interact and have conversations, right? So you could meet somebody, the person tells you about all the secrets in his life, things you consider to be secrets. They tell you everything about their home, their grandchildren, their dogs, everything. And then you're wondering, oh, I found a friend. They even ask you about your family, about your husband, about your children, everything about yourself, which is not very common where we're coming from. So in that sense, you will think, oh, I have found a friend, I found a new friend. Tomorrow you will see that same person, the person will just say hi to you and pass, and you're like, what just happened? I thought I made a new friend. So these are some of the things that I have learned. The fact that they're very friendly and nice to you doesn't mean they are your friends, okay? So don't get that twisted. So I'm going to stop here for now. These are some of the things I've learned living in the UK so far. How long have you been in the UK, and what have you learned living in the UK? I would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye bye.